Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Okay, so the key word right now is Empire to text 312-591-8302 if you haven't done it yet. Empire, E-M-P-I-R-E. That gets you a chance at the National and the War on Drugs at the United Center. What a show from our great partners, Live Nation. And then the Q101 Golden Ticket. Everything we do for an entire year. All the shows from Riot Fest to Riot Fest. You get in on thousands of dollars.
Every single one, baby.
Holy crap. That word is good till 8:29. So if you're in the middle of something, just calm down. You text once and that's it. It's not a race. So Empire to 312-591-8300. Now, before the break, I asked Kenzie the question because Case knows what I'm about to ask her because it happened between me and Case. I had to ask him this question. It's the hardest question to ask someone that's not your significant other. It's the easiest question to ask your significant other on the other side of it. And Kenzie guessed, is there something in my teeth?
Yes. Because now you're just pointing out your flaws to strangers.
Yeah.
But like your significant other doesn't care. Now some people are sending things in that I'm like, I don't think you should even be asking your significant other that. That is repulsive.
Like what?
Like,
is it radio friendly?
Yeah, but it's just gross. Like, oh, look, is my hemorrhoid big? Why are you asking your significant other that?
Well, that's why you have it.
Are you trying to end up divorced?
If you can't ask your significant other that, then you got the wrong significant other.
Amen.
I would never.
You won't
Over
go to
my dead body.
You said an hour ago you don't want to go to a doctor, so who's supposed to look at it?
What are you talking about?
If you had a hemorrhoid.
Why would you even have to go to a doctor for that?
You may have to go to a doctor for a hemorrhoid.
You sound like you're speaking over sometimes. Like, listen, there are specific scenarios in which, fine, I will believe you because you look at your eyes right now. You look crazy.
I'm not saying I've been to a doctor for a hemorrhoid. Okay, but maybe I have. Okay, and there are a lot of interesting people jumping in here with questions of what they would. So the question is, the toughest question to ask, someone you know outside of your significant other. Very easy to ask your significant other. But we had a guy checking in here, Brian, who has a guess on this one. Brian, ahoy, welcome in. Hey, Brian. Brian, are you there? Casey, there, we lose him.
Oh, Brian, are you there?
Hello?
Brian.
Oh, this is such a bummer. Brian, where are you at?
I've always.
Oh.
Hello?
Yeah, you there, Brian?
Yes.
Just come out of a portal? What happened to him? Good Lord.
He just came back from 1959.
No, it's DeLorean.
I don't think we're going to get him here. Your phone sounds really bad, Brian. You okay?
He sounded so normal talking to me.
He sounds like the girl from Poltergeist. He did that through the TV. Good Lord.
Case, what did he want to say on the air? Because Case screens all the calls.
He told me that at a point in time, he got his thing, if you will, stuck in the zipper.
Yeah.
Meaning his not like clothing stuck in the zipper. He got his skin stuck in his zipper.
Ugh.
And he had to ask all of his friends to help unzip him. None of them would do it. And so much like ripping off a Band-Aid, he closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and unzipped himself from his pants.
Woo!
That has to hurt, huh?
Oh, Kenzie, you have no
telling me.
idea. No idea. No idea.
How does that thing get stuck, though?
We're not going to go into that.
Was you like underwear on?
Well, you go commando. I used to go commando now and then.
In jeans?
Yes.
Oh.
Never again.
It's like riding a horse naked.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that suck? Was one of those things? Not if you're packing that. I don't think so.
So that's not what we're talking about. Again, the question is the toughest question to ask somebody that's not your significant other, yet it's the easiest question to ask your significant other. A lot of great questions and people coming in with some things like, where's your toilet plunger? That's great. But we'll get right to it. Kenzie, it's this. And it happened between me and Case just the other day. We were in Whole Foods.
Is Case your significant other?
No, he's not. That's why this was so hard to ask.
Oh, I see. Okay.
This is why it was hard to ask Case, but it would have been easy to ask Megan, my wife. So Case says, hey, I said, I'm going to Whole Foods. I give him a ride home after the show because we live near each other. And he says, can I go get some stuff while I'm here? I go, yeah. I get my stuff quick. And I'm sitting there waiting for Case. And I'm like, Jesus, I shouldn't have said he could go shopping in here because it's taking forever. Literally waiting and waiting. And I'm holding these bags and waiting.
Well, Case tinkers. Case is a big tinkerer.
He's a tinkerer.
Pardon?
You tinker, you piddle paddle around.
What? Tinker? I've never heard that word before.
You tinker around. You're just like, oh, let me go look at all those. Is that a record? Did I see a record in the distance? It's like, you tinker. You don't get to it. Get to the register. Go, 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 go. Is that how you operate?
There is a vinyl aisle at Whole Foods.
And a chip aisle. So he's going to tinker around. It's like, oh my God.
So he's taking a long time. I decided that when he comes back, I have to ask him this question because it was very annoying. And I said, boy, I don't think I've ever asked anybody outside my wife this question, but I'm going to have to ask, and I want the right answer. I need help on this. And I didn't ask him, and I built up the nerve to ask him, but I couldn't do it. That's how
you didn't build up the nerve.
I didn't ask him the question, but I told him.
You can't say you built up the nerve, but you didn't do it, so you actually didn't.
The nerve built down after that. But I just told him in the car later what the thing was, and I said, I think I need to track your phone. I think I need to put you on Find My Phone so I know where you are at all times.
You want to know the location of where I'm at all times.
Including in what aisle in Whole Foods he was. Now, I get it doesn't work that specific, which is terrible, and technology should be there by now where I can find him in whatever aisle.
Yeah, you can. When you pull up the Find My, it'll be like 100 feet, 200 feet. Like the arrow comes up. I have to use it for my headphones all the time. Like, where are these things? It's like I feel like a toddler playing a game.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, I'm cold.
But the question is, do you have anybody in your Find My Phone app outside of your family and your significant other?
I don't even have my family.
Amen.
Oh, Jesus.
Go off, Kenzie. No, not at all.
I've never thought to find their phone. I can't even find my phone.
No. See, what I'm saying is the Find My Phone thing is so it tracks the phone so you know where they are. So they're carrying their phone, let's say your husband.
I've never had that for anyone.
So he doesn't track you and you don't track him.
He keeps an Apple tag on me.
Oh, my God.
He does.
What are you, cattle?
I get lost. He does have Apple tags usually.
Is that what that necklace is?
He does. I have it in my backpack right now.
Okay, so it's the same thing, really. I mean, obviously, Apple
He does
tag.
that, but I'm like, I don't know.
You don't Apple tag him.
No. He'll figure it out. I don't know. Is that bad?
Well, listen. When I first got with Megan and we were dating, we didn't do it. But once we got married, she goes, well, we need to trade this off so I know where you are and you know where I am in case something happens. We're kidnapped or whatever. Not about cheating or anything like that. Whatever that kind of suspect
Who the
thing.
hell's going to kidnap you? They don't make a sack big enough. Jesus.
How dare you? I am kidnappable.
Trunk. You're the worst.
I am.
You are safe.
I don't think so. I think about it all the time, to be honest. I look over my back walking down the street.
You look like a pain in the ass to kidnap.
Sometimes there could be strong kidnappers.
How much you'd complain? You'd be like, my back. Like, you'd be the worst.
That's how I'm going to get out. I'm going to annoy him to death.
Don't do that to my leg. I pulled it in high school. I was playing basketball. They would put you right back.
Yeah, you would be a terrible hostage.
Oh, God.
Thank God. I have one skill. I'd be a terrible hostage.
Yeah, you're not going anywhere.
My question is to the people out there, you guys at 312-591-8300. Do you track your significant others? And do you track friends? Because I really want to track Case. I really want to track you too, Kenzie. I want to see where you do after the show.
Oh, no, you don't.
I would be sitting there at home on that app the whole day watching you and Case what you do after the show.
Well, Case would be tinkering around, wasting everyone's time.
Well, I think I'd be curious where he goes. Maybe he goes back to the Pizza Hut and Target like for a snack, not lunch.
How specific is location? Like, can you just see Cases at his fridge again?
It's not that specific.
Oh,
that's
that
why
would
I was.
be funny.
That's why I was upset at Whole Foods.
Like,
I
how's
can't.
that diet going, buddy?
I can't tell what aisle he's in. I wish it was that specific. But I'm saying, so you obviously don't have your significant other, so you don't have any friends then, right?
I have friends.
You track friends, but not your husband?
No, I just meant I have friends.
Oh.
You said like I don't have any friends.
I know you have friends.
This is mean. I feel like I'm getting bullied.
I know you have friends, but
I have one friend that asked, like, he's like, I want to track your location when I moved to Chicago. And I was like, okay, sure. So I guess we share location, but I've never looked.
But you share it all the time, so you're in the app.
I guess. He asked for it, and I said, okay. And then I just never... What?
He's watching where you're going all the time.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That sounds boring.
It might not be. I'm telling you, I'm just curious for who's following who. Any of you asked friends? Do you guys track friends? Because I really want to track Case and Kenzie and see what they do all day.
It's none of your damn business. I like to be left alone.
That's
I'm like
why.
a curmudgeon-y.
That's why it's the hardest question to ask a friend and not a significant other. Because everybody, like me and Megan, oh yes, that's a good idea. Let's do that. 312-591-8300. Check in because I want to know how many people you're tracking. I want to see what listener is tracking the most people. Do you have like 37 people in your phone?
Every ex.
Yeah. I really want to know This just fascinated me, and I was really curious about it once I wanted to track Case. So check in 312-591-8300. Who you be tracking? Who's tracking you? It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Sublime, of course, at Riot Fest with Jacob Knoll taking the place of his dad. So Riot Fest to Riot Fest. If you text Empire to 312-591-8300 right now, that's your chance at the golden ticket and to get to the National and the War on Drugs United Center. Text Empire to that number. Now, we're talking about the toughest question to ask somebody outside of your significant other, but the easiest one to ask your significant other. Can I track you? And a lot of people checking in here. This happened between me and Case because he was meandering or tinkering around Whole Foods.
He's such a tinkerer.
I was waiting for him, and I said, I'm going to need to track your phone from now on. And I never got an answer. He kind of just meandered around the subject and never let me do it.
I tinkered, as Kenzie would say.
Yes. But would you let me track you?
No. I don't want anybody tracking me. I don't want anybody knowing where I am.
What are you hiding?
I don't want to know
Damn
where
right.
anybody is.
Your other family?
Yeah, I've got a secret family that I haven't told you guys about.
He produces another radio show? You son of a bitch. I
Sorry,
knew it.
Fred's calling me. Let me talk to you guys in just a second.
So Case works.
Son of a bitch.
Case has a wife and 4 kids in Addison,
I knew it.
and he produces the Fred Show.
He's 57. He's been lying.
Whenever he walks out of his little booth, he goes across the street, down the street,
I take an Uber.
to Kiss FM down there, and he produces that show. Great job. And his whole family in Addison is just sitting there going like, I wonder when he's going to get home. He works so hard.
I
He works
know.
so hard. He produces all those shows.
It's like he does twice the job of a normal person. Well, I wonder what's going on.
So to that question, we have some texts coming in and some calls we're going to get to here. This came from 847. I absolutely track my coworkers. I don't want to show up in the building before they get there.
Oh my God, this is incredible.
What a great idea.
In fact, Brian, give me your location.
And then Sarah checked in and said, OMG, my mom asked me to join Life 360 app, which
Yes.
is similar to that, I guess.
Yes.
So I could see where she's at in case something happens because she's elderly and lives alone. Now she calls me and is like, I see you're on your way to the office. It's awful, she said, because her mom just sits all day there and tracks her, what she does.
And this is what you do to me. This is why you can't have my location.
Come on.
I'd be at Mariano's and you'd call me and be like, hey, man, what are you getting? You want to get me something?
I would definitely ask you to get my some sushi.
See? Maybe we should all track each other.
Well, if I'm going to get sushi out of the whole thing.
See? Now you're-
Jessica texted in and she goes, I'm a high school teacher and all of my students track like their friends at school. She goes, it's actually weirdly helpful though when they say they're going to the bathroom and they don't, because she has them pull up like, leave it gone for 15 minutes, pull up your friend, let me see if they're in the hallway.
He's in the parking lot and he's leaving.
I knew it.
And boom goes the dynamite.
Yeah.
I do think this is like a little bit of a generational thing, because I think probably kids in high school just do it to each other everybody
Yeah.
tracks everybody, I bet. I bet they have like every classmate is probably in their phone.
They're probably like, did you see Jenny was at Ricky's house? Ooh. Like, that's how word spreads now.
So Ashley is checking in. Ashley, ahoy. Welcome to the show.
Ahoy! Good morning.
What do you think about this subject of tracking, and do you track people? Does someone track you?
I do. So I've got 5 family members, but I also have my coworker Joey. I track him.
Is Joey just a friend?
He's he started out my coworker, and now I call him my honorary brother.
I thought this was going to turn into a love affair.
So did I.
Yeah, it's just going to be conflicted.
No.
It's gonna.
Oh, yeah.
It's interesting. At times, I accidentally call my husband's name. I call my husband his name. It gets fun.
Whoa, that sounds muddy.
Yeah.
Muddy waters,
Yeah.
that.
So has it caused any problems? Are you tracking Joey with your husband?
No, not at all. He thinks it's funny. I mean, I use it for work purposes, but I like to use it more for pranking purposes, though. So,
Okay. So you're all good on this. You're all good. You're for this, and you think it's fine.
oh, absolutely. I mean, you get to show up and bang on the door when they're in the bathroom. Hey, get out! Or, stores that they're at, and you walk in, and last one, I treated it like I was accusing him of cheating, and everybody was like, "Whoa, who's
God.
this lady?" And I stormed out. He was embarrassed.
Oh, it sounds fun.
Yeah, I'm not going to be sharing with her, but she sounds like a good time.
Well, I appreciate you checking in. So that's our first person calling in with a total of 6, basically, people she's tracking. Let's go to Nikki. Nikki, what's going on? Ahoy.
Ahoy, good morning.
Good morning. So
I think it's such an absurd idea and such a bad decision.
Oh, why?
Because I have so many friends that track each other, and if you can't trust where each other is going to be to begin with, like, they just cause so many fights between each other, and you should be where you're telling your significant other you're going to be, unless you're going out on a first date or to a sketchy neighborhood or something and you want to do it for safety reasons. Otherwise, we're losing all trust in humanity that way.
But it's fun just to see where they're going, you know?
It's fun. She does this whole thing.
Board game Friday night, it's like you're stalking everybody at all times during the day.
Brian likes it. He thinks
For
it's
no
fun.
reason.
I do like it. Well, here's the thing. Like, Megan says she's going, over to, let's say, the salon, and I know where she's going. And I see she goes to Whole Foods, just like Casey. I go, hey, I see you're at Whole Foods right now. She goes like, stalker. She says that. And I go, yes, but I would like something delicious from there.
Yeah, since you're over there.
The brown butter cookies are unbelievable.
Did she go somewhere else and you just text her whore?
Where you going, whore?
Works at Whole Foods. You tramp.
Fair enough. I suppose there's, a plus and a minus to everything. For relationships, I think it's just worse for wear.
I get it.
You got a good relationship going on right now?
18 years.
Damn.
Okay, she knows what's good. She gets
Yep.
it.
Now, what if your husband
3
came to you?
kids.
What if your husband right now said, I want to start tracking you? What would you say?
He would never ask because I would never ask him.
Oh, let's put him in that position now. What if he just said all of a sudden, you don't know your husband that well after 18 years. Come on. He might just come in one
Some
day and
people
say,
marry serial killers on accident. They didn't find out for a long time.
Crazy.
Yeah, think
might-
about that.
so
Now
he
you
could-
want to track him,
So,
huh?
so he comes in right now this morning. He goes like, hey, I want to start tracking you. Just, I just want to see where you're going. What would you say? Is it over?
No.
You'd say no?
I would tell him no. He doesn't need to track me. I'm not doing anything wrong.
Okay, so listen. Who's the guy you're dating, though?
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. We're talking about tracking people. And I find this to be the toughest question to ask somebody that's not your significant other, but the easiest question to ask, if it is your significant other, like, hey, I'm going to track you. I know where you are. Just make sure you're safe. That kind of thing. Not a trust issue about cheating, just about being safe if something ever happened. And 312-591-8300, people checking in. A lot of texts and calls, but this one I found interesting. 773 saying, you guys should give the listeners your info so they can track you.
That's okay.
Now, should we have some kind of lottery to see which one of us they get to track and then give it out, give our number on the air?
I'm not going to participate.
Should that be like a punishment, like if we do like Bears picks and stuff, that we have to give our information
We
out?
have to give out our information and get tracked. That sounds safe.
You want me to give my social out while we're
Yeah,
at it?
some of us are very kidnappable, and I don't like that, Brian.
I don't like that you think I'm not kidnappable.
Does that affect you?
It actually makes me feel bad.
Why? I didn't say you weren't dateable.
It's the same thing.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. So as we said, we'll have a new keyword for the next hour from 8:30 to 9:30 coming up in a second for your chance. And that's going to be to see Jane's Addiction at the Aragon. Great qualifying prizes here. Jane's Addiction, the original lineup, back together at the Aragon Tuesday, September 24th. And, of course, Perry Farrell is the guy that created Lollapalooza. He's in that band. He's the singer. And Dave Navarro back in as a guitar player, everything. The original. And he's had a bad struggle health-wise.
I was going to say, finally healthy.
He's had, long COVID.
Have you had long COVID?
I know. Can you believe that? Whoa.
Hold on.
Take a sip. As the prize will be Jane's Addiction and Love and Rockets at the Aragon. I'm very excited to see Love and Rockets finally. You good, Brian?
I
you okay?
I said my Coke Zero there.
Good Lord. Well, they always said Coke Zero is the cure to long COVID.
That's what Fauci said.
Yeah.
You want to get that jab? Oh, screw that. Coke Zero gets rid of COVID.
That's what I've heard.
Oh, man, it's so good. Listen
People
to
had it so mixed up. That's where all the,
Yeah.
You want to hear COVID cells die? Listen.
Oh, they're crashing and burning.
Oh, they're jumping off.
I think that's what Rogan's talking about this week, is how Coke Zero killed COVID.
All right. So we do have the new keyword, but what a show. I cannot wait for that show. Jane's Addiction, Love and Rockets at the Aragon. So that's coming up after Soundgarden and after you choose which headline we're going to do here in Head to Headlines, where you decide the content of the show. If you're new to the show, what we do is We read 2 headlines of the week that are unbelievable. And based on the headline alone, you have to decide what story you want to hear more about. The catch is we'll never talk about the other story again. Not tomorrow, not Friday, not whenever. So choose wisely. Here we go. Headline number 1. And you text in headline 1 or headline 2. That's all you do. Headline number 1. Burlington man allegedly shot father after argument over stinky feet.
Listen, I live with all boys, and I get it. Yeah. You know? I get it.
Yeah. If you want to hear more about that story, text in headline number 1 right now. Headline number 2. Florida doctor couldn't hear colonoscopy patient screaming in agony because he wasn't wearing his hearing aids.
Can't he see?
It's a long headline. I almost couldn't get through it. I try to be serious on these headlines. So one more time, just so you really understand. Florida doctor couldn't hear colonoscopy patient screaming in agony because he wasn't wearing his hearing aids. If you want to hear more about that story, text in headline. Text in headline number 2. So headline 1, headline 2. When we come back after Soundgarden, we'll give you the new golden ticket keyword, and of course, break down whichever story you want to hear. It's your show. It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
The results of Head to Headlines coming up in seconds, but first...
Now is your chance to qualify for the golden ticket. Please don't text and drive. Standard message and data rates apply.
Q101.
All right, so we've tallied up everything for Head to Headlines. Do not text any more about that because what you should be texting is mountain right now to 312-591-8300. As in, coming down the mountain!
Oh, my God.
Kenzie, we're going to James Dixon together. You're going to go with me.
When is that again?
It is Tuesday, September 24th at the Aragon, and that's the band you will see, the reunited full lineup. It's got to be 30 years, 25 years since the reunited lineup.
Maybe. It's 2 days after Riot Fest ends.
Well, let's just keep going then.
I agree.
Let's get that.
Let's keep riding.
Get that white monster can and chug it down and keep going.
Amen, brother.
And Love and Rockets also on that. A great show at the Aragon. Text Mountain, MOUNTAIN to 312-591-8200 for your chance to win. And you'll qualify for the golden ticket. All from our great friends at Live Nation, the golden ticket, everything we do for an entire year. And there you go. Text that right now. First, now we should go to Head to Headlines. Boy, 2 great headlines this week. You choose the content of the show. So headline number 1 was, Burlington man allegedly shot father after argument over stinky feet. And headline number 2 was, Florida doc couldn't hear colonoscopy patient screaming in agony because he wasn't wearing his hearing aids.
This one just confuses me.
And that's what it did for most people. I think people understand the first one better, that the guy had stinky feet and he went and got a gun and shot his dad. But we'll never know. I mean, don't do that, by the way. That's
Thank
terrible.
You. Very brave of you.
Violence is no way to solve that problem. I mean, what's the stuff you put in shoes? The spray.
Like odor be gone, but it's something else. What is it?
Odor eaters.
Stink be gone or something. It's like gross be gone. I don't know.
Febreze, whatever.
Dr. Scholl's?
That's for comfort.
But they do have smelly stuff too, I think.
Do they?
I think they have a.
God, that doctor studied everything. Huh?
Yeah, not this one. So the Florida doc won, the colonoscopy doctor. I'm telling you right now, obviously you see something's wrong with this story, like he has some kind of punishment coming. When you hear the punishment he got at the end of the story, which we're going to get there, you're going to freak out. Your response is going to be, what? I promise that's what it'll be. That's it. So let's get to the story. You guys chose it. A Florida doc couldn't hear colonoscopy patient screaming in agony because he wasn't wearing his hearing aids. I can't get to the headline without. I want to get through it all the way through, but I can't without laughing.
It's very confusing.
So here we go. A Florida gastroenterologist. It's hard to say that word. Gastroenterologist has been disciplined after 2 recent colonoscopy procedures went awry on his watch, including at least one where he couldn't hear an improperly sedated patient's screams because he wasn't wearing his hearing aids.
Doesn't sound properly sedated, does he?
Yeah, he was improperly sedated, that patient. Dr. Ishwari Prasad, 84 years old. Listen, I'm not being an ageist here.
You're famously not ageist.
Exactly. But if you're 84 and you're doing something down there on me, I'm going to a younger doctor.
That's
that
fair.
sounded super perverted. You're doing something down there on me.
Well,
Jeez.
you know what a colonoscopy is? That's what goes in there. It's not good.
You've had colonoscopies, Brian. What was the age range of the people that operated on you?
I had one, and the doctor was, I think, just a little older than me.
Okay.
Yeah. And the nurses, well,
They were hot pieces of ass. Is that what you were going to say?
that's
Did you
not.
get a sponge bath after? Why are you saying it like that? Good
What about the
Lord.
nurses?
How dare you guys assume what I was going to say next?
Look at your face.
No.
Look at it.
Wait to hear what I'm going to say next. So
Okay.
when I laid down there, you lay on your side because they have to go in, you know? And the nurses recognized me before I went under. Like, oh, you're Brian from the radio, right? I go, yeah. And then I'm starting to fade out. And I'm like, well, crap. Now I'm in this position like this. And they're going to do that to me? And they know who I am. And I'm like, they're probably judging everything they're seeing now. You're naked, basically. And they're doing that, you know, the colonoscopy.
What do you think? They're not going to listen anymore because they found a polyp?
That was the least of my worries.
Like, disgusting.
by the
Never
way,
again.
By the way, they found no polyps.
Okay, well, perfect record. Why wouldn't they listen?
I just want the guys out there to go get that, and the ladies too, get that colonoscopy. I think they reduced the age to 40 now or something because it's one of the leading causes of colon cancer in younger people now. It's increasing in younger people. So get that colonoscopy. Do not put it off. But not from this guy who's 84 years old. Don't do that. So let's get back to the story. So Dr. Prasad improperly delegated medical tasks to a surgical tech who did not have a license to practice medicine.
Well, that doesn't seem like a good idea.
Again, this is a colonoscopy. It's a pretty delicate procedure. They gotta take that tube.
You can't just, yeah.
Yeah.
You can't just be doing anything in there.
That's right. The tech was instructed by Prasad to perform at least one task, including the scope insertion, scope manipulation, manipulating an instrument over polyps or tissue, and removing polyps or tissue.
Well, you seem like you should have some practice first.
Well, listen, learning hospitals, people have to do things, but that's everything. That's the whole colonoscopy, and he's 84. I'm not being an ageist, but I'm not sure he's catching everything the guy's doing.
That's fair.
He didn't.
Well, it sounds like he's delegating because he doesn't feel like doing it, not because he's trying to teach him.
I hope they're trying to teach, but also I probably didn't want to. At 84, he's probably done 1 million colonoscopies. He's like, I've seen enough butts. I've just seen enough.
Do we
He's
think
just over it.
Is this what Biden's doing right now? Isn't he 84? Is he
He's
just hanging
doing
out?
colonoscopies?
He's just doing rogue colonoscopies?
Are you asking if Biden in his free time is giving people colonoscopies?
That is exactly what I'm asking.
I want you to think about that. I want you to sit in that for a
God.
little bit.
So in the complaint, it wrote that during the second procedure, the one they're questioning on, the hospital administrator in the room told Prasad that he had to wait, prompting the doctor to lean over the patient and shout, "I know!" while continuing to manipulate the scope. During the investigation, the surgical tech revealed that the patient was screaming in pain because they improperly sedated him. So they're pushing the scope, holding the scope in, and he's screaming. And it turns out he didn't put his hearing aids in before the procedure.
Yeah, but what about everybody else in the room?
Here's the quote.
There's other people there.
The patient began to yell and shouted that he was in pain and could still feel everything. He continued to move the scope because he couldn't hear because he had his hearing aids on. I can feel everything. Stop!
Do you think he had a fight with his wife that morning and was like, you know what? I don't want to hear it. And he took it super literal and then forgot.
So he got his medical license in 1990. So he's had it for 34 years. But
Wow, he got his medical license before I was alive.
How about that?
Think about, he's done a lot of asses, you know?
A lot of asses. Now, here's the penalty that I wanted to get to you guys here to get to the end of the story. He's on probation. He's suspended and on probation now.
How about he should be on retirement?
He's 84.
What are we doing? When does he get to come back? When he's 90?
Oh, no, Kenzie. No. He will not be allowed to perform any medical procedures on his own until he's reviewed and evaluated for competency or performs 10 more colonoscopies under the supervision of another physician. So his punishment is to do more for 10 more people, and then they can say, you're good to keep doing them now at 84.
Why doesn't he just want to stop? What are we doing? This is a good stopping point for him, I think.
84 should be a mandatory stop.
I think we should just relax. It didn't go well, and you're 84.
Who are those 10 people lining up to get a colonoscopy from him to
Do you think
test
you get
him?
like a deal?
It's like a Groupon.
Like, oh yeah, you come with your friends.
Got a punch card there?
Yes.
Good gravy. And that's Head to Headlines.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.